Okay. Hi guys. So on Tuesday, we're going to be going live with our new phones. Today and tomorrow, we're going to be deploying the new phones. So some of you might already have them on your desks. The rest will be coming soon. They're working on it right now. And I want to introduce to you Bonnie. She is going to be our trainer today. And she will be at the main library on Tuesday hanging out with us, especially with the receptionist all day. So Bonnie?
Hi, everyone. It's nice to meet everyone. I know what you're looking at right now is a picture of the phone, but I'll actually probably have an opportunity to meet most of you when I'm there on Tuesday. So I look forward to that. So what we're going to cover in this training session today is what your new phone is going to look like, what features you'll have, and how you will be able to use them. And then once we're done with the telephone, we're going to move on to voicemail. You'll also be getting a new voicemail box. And I will explain to you how to set that up for the very first time, and then some other features that you can use from your phone that will help you manage your new voicemail. So as we go along, you'll be muted, and then at the end of the session, the telephone explanation session, will take you off mute, and if you have any questions, we can address them at that time. So Maysom sent you the two documents, the one document of the telephone and the other document is voicemail. We're going to start with the telephone, which you see in front of you on your screen. Okay, the first thing I would like to do, it is two-sided. The first thing I would like to do is just explain to you what some of the keys are on the actual telephone. And on your document, you're going to have a list of 15 items, which you can always refer back to in case you forget anything that I said. So I just want to start off by showing you that over here in the upper right-hand corner of your phone is a red plastic corner piece. And when you get a voicemail, that will be lit up. It'll be bright red. Okay. The second item is this display. This is your phone display, obviously, right here. And the keys on the side, those are considered your line keys. Underneath, you're also going to have 4 other keys that will list out the features of your phone, and those are lines, those are feature keys. The circle here is your navigation wheel. And then this button right here, which has a picture of a telephone on it, that's your home button. And this is your options button. It takes you into a menu in your phone and it allows you to control certain things on your phone. This button right here with the picture of a person on it, that's your contact button. And I'll talk about that a little more in detail. And then over here on your left where you see this button lit up, this is your call history button. And you have a button on the right-hand side of the phone that has a picture of an envelope on it. That's how you're going to access your voicemail. And then down here, you have a button which has a picture of a headset. I'm not sure that you're using headsets, but if you are, you would get dial tone from this button here. And then below it is your speaker button. And then you have a volume control left and right. And then at the very bottom, you have a circle with a microphone with a line through it. That's your mute button. Okay, so I'm just going to go through some of the features, some of those features on the phone right now. So as I mentioned to you before, this is your speaker button. When you press it and you go off hook, it lights up and now you're in speaker mode. Okay, if you want to disconnect from that call, you just hit it again. It's just a toggle on and off. While you're using speaker, if you want to put a call on mute, you can just hit your mute button. It turns blue. That's how you'll know that the mute is on and the person at the other end of the phone cannot hear you. Once you want to when you want to deactivate that, you just press it again and turn it off. Okay, so you have your headset, your speaker, and your mute. I want to bring you back to the button I pointed out to you before, and that's your contacts. So this phone is equipped with a nice big contact list. You have 2 options. If you press your contact button, what you're going to see is a list of all contacts in your library system, all the people that have an extension assigned to them in your library organization. And what you can do is you can actually use your navigation wheel and scroll down to any one of these phones here, and you can actually place a call to them that way. Okay, so that's a shared list that everybody has access to from their telephone from the contacts button. Now, the phones also have a personal list. Everybody has their own personal list on their phone as well, and they can create their own commonly dialed numbers from their own list that is not shared across the organization with anybody else. And the way you access that is just hitting your navigation wheel to the right, and it takes you to your personal list. And from there, you would just hit new, and then you could enter the name and telephone number of the person that you want to store in your list. And then you would just hit done and it would be completed. One thing to note that when you are dialing, when you want to store an external number, so somebody outside of the library system, you would have to enter the 9 as you would if you were dialing out of the system. Okay, so it would be 9, the area code, and the full number when you're entering a number in there. So to get out of this screen, you can always use your home button. Just by hitting it, it takes you back to the main screen of your phone. Okay, the main page of your phone. So I think what I'd like to do right now is start talking to you about some of the specific features. So on the other side of the document starts off with talking about answering calls. So on your lines A, B, and C, these are where your calls come in, and when you pick up the phone, where your calls go out. You don't really have to be concerned with pressing any of the buttons. When you pick up your phone, it automatically goes off hook and you can begin dialing. Or when a call is being placed to your phone, it automatically comes in on an available line, and it'll be ringing with a different color, which is green, and you'll know that you can pick it up. So I do have my coworker, Steve, which you'll probably see around on Tuesday as well. He's kind of in the background, and he's going to throw a test call in for me just so you can see what it looks like when a call is coming in. So this does flash, and this comes in as green. It's going to show where it's coming from, and I can just pick it up. And when I do, it shows that we're connected. It turns the light green, the blinking green light solid, and it shows that we're off hook on a call. Okay, so I'm gonna hang up from Steve. Oh, can you put another call through? Okay, so that's answering a call. And actually, can you put more than one call through? Or it's okay. So basically, I just want to explain that when the call comes in, you do have the ability to get a second call to come in. And when you do, you can just put the first call on hold. Okay, so we would answer the first call. And then if we had another call coming in, I could put the first one on hold and it shows the blanking, and then I could answer the second one. Okay, so you can work between both calls. So I'm going to hang everything up here. Thank you, Steve. Okay, so you can handle more than one call at a time coming in. And if you are on the phone and you want to make another call going out, you could put that first call on hold and then go off on your second line and then dial 911 and the entire number to get out. Okay, so you have the ability to handle more than one call at a time. So making calls, going down to the next feature, you have several different ways that you can make a call, like we talked about before. You can just hit your speaker button if you want, and then you can dial the number and it calls out, okay? Or you can just pick up the phone, and when you do, like I mentioned before, it goes off hook. It shows that we're off hook, and then you would just manually dial in the number and it dials out for you. And then the other thing you can do is you can go into your contact list, like we talked about, whether it's your shared contact list or your personal contact list, highlight the number of the person that you want to dial and hit call. So you have multiple ways of making an outgoing call. And I'm going to hit the home button just to get out of this menu again, like I showed you before. Okay, so that's making calls. So that's taking incoming calls and then making calls going out. Also, all your extensions are staying the same. So if you want to call somebody within your organization or within the library, you can just, by any one of those, ways, as we spoke about, speaker, your contact list, or hitting a line key, you can just dial the 4-digit extension and it'll call the person, in your organization. Okay, the next thing I want to quickly mention to you is the all page button. The paging works, this is going to work the same way that it did before. The page key is for emergency uses only. And if you need to use it, you would pick up the phone and just hit the page key and know that it would come across out loud on speaker for everybody to hear. Okay, so it's as simple as that. So we did briefly touch on putting a call on hold. Steve, can you put another call in? Sure. Just want to show you again, just to remind you, because I know we kind of talked about it in answering a call. So I have a call coming in right now, and I'm going to go off hook and answer it. And now you're going to see that I do have some other features listed here. I talked about these also being feature keys before. Here's your hold right here. So I can just hit the hold button, and now the call is on hold. And when I want to go back to it, I know which one it is because it's actually flashing on my line. So I just hit that, and now we're connected again. Okay, so I'm going to hang that up. So that's hold. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is transferring calls. So when you get a call to your phone and it's for somebody else, they want to speak with someone else, you can very easily use the transfer feature, hit the transfer key, which I will show you in a second, and then dial the 4-digit extension of the person that you want to send the call to. And you can do one of two things. You can wait for the person to pick up before you announce the call that you're going to put through, or you can just put the call right through and not wait for the person at the other end to pick it up. So we call that a supervised or non-supervised call. Okay, so it's very simple. Steve, can you put a call in? So Steve's calling me. And now you're going to notice here on the bottom that you have other features beside hold when you have a call on your line. Not only do you have hold, but you have conference and you have transfer and drop. Okay, so say a call is coming in, it's from Steve and he wants to talk to Mysum. I could hit the transfer button. And when I do that, the system automatically puts the call on hold. So you don't have to worry about putting the call on hold first. You're going to dial the number of the person that you want to transfer to. So we're going to do 8256. And right now, Steve is on hold and I am going to connect this call. I have Steve on the phone for you. So I'm just going to hit complete. And now that call is connected to Steve and I'm out of the picture. Okay, so just to review, incoming call comes in, I pick up the phone, I hit my transfer button, I dial the extension of the person that I want to transfer the call to. I wait or not for the person to pick up, and then I just hit complete. Okay, so it's transfer, the extension, and complete. It's as simple as that. Now you may go to transfer a call to someone and you put it through, and if the person's not there, then you don't have to worry about it because that call will go to the person's voicemail. So you don't have to worry about the call getting unanswered. The only other situation would be if you went to transfer a call and the person picked up and you said, I would like to, I'm going to transfer Steve. And they said, oh, I just can't speak to them right now. You can actually take the call back because remember, it's still flashing and holding on your line. So if you hit your line key, you will take control of that call back again. Okay, so there is a way to get the call back. Okay, the next feature is conference. You can conference more than one person into a call. While you're on a call, Steve, can you just call me one more time? I'm just going to show you the conference feature. It works the same way that transfer does, except you can bring more than one person into a call at a time. So while I'm on a call, what I can do is I can hit conference. Again, it puts the call on hold, just like transfer. And then I can dial the next party that I want to bring in and hit complete. And then the three of us would be connected. If I want to do that again, let me show you what that looks like, 8256. Okay, so I'm going to hit conference. So now there's three of us connected. And if you look on your screen, it shows you connected 3 parties. Now, if I wanted to bring another party in, I would just follow that same procedure. I would just hit conference. I would dial the next number that I want to bring in, and I would hit conference again, and it would show me that I have 4 parties. So we're going to hang up. So that's conferencing. Okay, and then lastly, what I'd like to talk about is the fact that when you do have a call coming in, you can divert it to voicemail. So if you just want to send it directly to your voicemail, you can do that. So Steve, if you give me another call. So while the call is coming in, if I know that I don't want to speak to the person, but I just want to send it to my voicemail box, I can just hit to voicemail, and it's kind of like a quick do not disturb. It'll send it right into your voicemail box. So let me show you this as well too. I mentioned this before. This is your recent your history button. It's similar to your call history on your cell phone. When it's lit up, it means that someone actually called your phone. So it's just an indication that someone did call your phone. If you press that button, it's going to show you a list of everybody that called into your phone. It has nothing to do with voicemail. So whether they left you a voicemail message or not, it's still going to log. The number is still going to log to your phone that the call came to you. So from there, you can go into your log if you want, and you can call from there, or you can just come out of it by hitting your home button and taking you back to your main screen. So Mike, if you want to unmute at this point, I can take any questions that anyone may have.
Yeah, they all can unmute. But just one thing to clarify, some of these options you won't see until the phone rings and you pick it up. So
Yeah.
when the phone is ringing, you will see options. When you pick up, you will see other options.
Yes.
So if you're having the phone on your desk right now, don't think that you can see the options right now.
Yes, thank you, Mason. Thank you for saying that. Actually, that's a very good point. I'm glad you brought that up. So these feature keys here, when you're not on a call, you're only going to have really the ability to redial. But once you have an active call on your line, then the phone presents to you the other features that are available, such as your hold and your transfer and your conference. So thank you very much for bringing that up, Mason. I appreciate that. The last thing too that I do want to mention is the call pickup. I believe that based on your location, you'll be in a call group by location. So if you're in the main library and you hear a phone ringing in the main library, you can hit the call pickup line on your phone, and that call will come to your line.
So that actually is going to be for Harry Bennett, Weed, and South End, because that's what they do. Like usually they pick up each other's phones, maybe
Okay.
set up differently. So like circulation, the 8261 and 8262, your phones are going to ring together. 8221, 8222 for adult references, those two phones are going to ring together, and you can just pick up any phone that you want that way. So each phone is kind of set up differently.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that clarification. Thank you.
So we have a question in the chat. Rebecca's asking how many ringtones are available, because they have 7 phones in
So
one.
there are a lot of ringtones available. Some of them are quite interesting. If you go into your menu button here, the options, which I showed you before, I believe it's in applications. No, bear with me. I have to find it. It's in settings. If you go to settings and then you scroll down to audio, do I have it in here? Hold on. Sorry, bear with me. Okay, so it's in audio and it's called personalized ringing. And you can select that by hitting the little circle. And then you have all different tones in there, and you can go through them one by one and hit play and listen to them. Trust me when I tell you that some of them are very interesting, but you're more than welcome to go in and have some fun with it and play around and see what they sound like. Probably most of you will go back to the original, but it is something to hear. So by all means, whatever works best for you. And then the way to get back to it is just to hit the home button to get out of it. Okay, so yes, you can change your ringtones.
Okay. Do you guys have any other questions? Okay, you can unmute yourself.
How many people can you have on a conference call?
This system here, I mean, you can have up to
You can have a lot of people on a conference call. I'm going to say at least 10 or 15. I think that's a fair statement, at least 15.
Oh, that's good.
And is there a limit for a time or anything like that?
No, there isn't.
Huh.
It's internal to the system, so it just works as a basic feature on this phone.
I had a question about message, which is at the end of the voicemail directions. Does that mean that if my phone is ringing and I can see who it is, I can just hit message and send that call to another extension?
You can send your phone directly to voicemail. It'll go to your voicemail. So if your phone is ringing, there's a feature that comes up that says to VM. It comes up on one of the feature keys, like I had showed you before.
Right, I got
If you
that.
press that, you're just sending it directly to your voicemail.
What does message mean?
What do you mean? Sorry, I don't understand your question.
Well, it says divert call to voicemail, and it explains what you just did. And then it says you can use the message key to transfer a call to another user or group's voicemail mailbox.
While you're on an active call.
Oh, on an active call.
Yeah, sorry, yep. While you're on an active call, you can use your message button. It acts as an auto dial into the voicemail system, and then you would get in there and the system would ask you basically what extension you want to, get to someone's voicemail, and then you would enter that information. Yeah, so
Okay.
this is your message button right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
I'll talk to you a little bit more about voicemail once we're done with all the phone questions. Thank you for that question.
And I would like to ask, when you transfer a call or setting up a conference call, can you call using the contact list, or you have to dial yourself?
Yes, you can. You can use the contact list for whatever you'd like. Yes.
And when we call and it went to the message, the voicemail, can
Yep.
we skip the message, directly go to record our message?
Once you get into the voicemail, if you know there is a way to skip to a message, I believe it's pound, and it takes you one to get them past the greeting. Okay, once you get into voicemail, if you want to get past the person's greeting, you would hit the number 1.
Number 1?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna talk about voicemail in a second because voicemail, it's like visual now, so it will be a lot easier to do other stuff with it.
Yes.
We have another question in the chat. Does the number of the caller show up on the screen?
Yes, so if someone is calling in, you will see the caller ID coming in. And if someone is calling you from inside your organization, you'll see the 4-digit number coming across as well.
Is that the case for the history as well?
You will see the information in the history because the phone logs the number. Yes.
The page function, that's system-wide to all the branches or just the branch you're in?
It's just the branch you're in. So it stays within each branch.
So right now, the main library, the paging goes through the PA, and that's for the evacuation for an emergency. And the branches, it's gonna be through the phone speakers, and that's gonna be like for Bennett, they'll only be in Bennett. Same thing for Weed, same thing for South End.
So that effectively replaces what's now called the urgent page.
Right. So right now we have it, as urgent page. It's just gonna say paging, I think, within your phone. Any other questions?
One other question, real quick. When you're transferring a call, there's 2 options. You can either just transfer it and hang up and then it'll ring on the other extension, or you can talk to the person and say, so-and-so is calling, do you want to take the call? If they want to take the call, do you then just hang up and they get the call immediately?
You can hang up and it will work, but there's also a complete button that you can press and it just sends the call through.
Okay.
Any other phone questions?
Their question is if paging is gonna be louder than what we currently have. Judy, where are you talking about, like Weed or Bennett or Maine?
Harry Bennett.
It comes from the phone, so it's gonna be as loud as the phone is.
It
Because-
comes through the phone speaker, so if you want to lower your volume, you can do that by using this minus button over here.
So because you guys don't have, a PA system at the branches, so it's hard to make it louder
Okay.
because it comes through the phones.
Okay.
If I want to use a headset, I don't see any plug in the phone. Is it?
There's a jack in the back of, there's a jack in the back of the phone where you would plug into there. And then to get dialed to them once you're connected. And of course, the headset would have to be compatible for this phone.
Oh, I see.
You
So
would,
it's a phone jack, not a mini phono jack.
yeah, it is a phone jack, yep. Anybody else?
Okay, I think we can go to voicemail now.
Okay, great. We're right on schedule. We're gonna switch over to voicemail now. So like I mentioned, thanks, Steve. I'm losing my partner. So thank you. So as I mentioned before, this corner piece here on the phone, it might be a little hard to see right now. Well, you saw it when the phone was ringing, you saw it light up. When you have a voicemail, there will be a solid red light on your phone. And then once you go in and listen to your messages, the light goes away. So just to remind you what that will be if that's lit up. Okay. The other thing this does is when your phone is ringing, when you have an incoming call, it flashes there. So those are the two reasons why you'll see this lit up. Okay, so let's talk about voicemail. So logging in for the first time, it's very important. The document that Mysam sent to all of you is very easy to follow along. It's about a 4 or so step process just to log in for the first time. And once you do that, you'll log in, you'll put in your default password, and the system will ask you to set up to record your name, your first and last name. And once you do that, then we're going to go into another part of voicemail, which Mysam mentioned before, is called visual voicemail. And from there, you'll set up your actual greeting that callers will hear when your line goes into voicemail. So the first thing I want to do is show you just how to set your voicemail up for the first time. So step 1 is going to be, you're going to dial *17, and that's going to get you into the voicemail system. So I'm going to let you hear what that sounds like.
Welcome to Avaya IP office. For help at any time, press *H. Please enter extension and # key.
So this is asking me to enter my extension number, which I'm very sorry, but I forgot what my extension is. So let me just take a look at it. Okay, it's 8417 *17.
Welcome to Avaya IP office. For help at any time, press *H. Please enter extension and # key.
It's 8417 #.
Enter password.
My
and
password
# key.
and everybody's password initially is going to be 115599 #.
As you use Avaya IP office, your name will be included in system announcements that you and other people will hear. Press 1, and at the tone, please speak your name. After speaking your name, press 1 again.
Bonnie Stasola.
Bonnie Stasola. To re-record your name, press 1. To approve, press #. Bonnie Stasola. No new messages.
So at
To
this
record messages, press 1. To get
At
messages,
this point,
press 2.
I'm just going to disconnect by hitting my speaker button. Okay, so that's all you have to do initially to set your voicemail up. You do not have to get dial tone or pick up the phone. You're just going to hit *17. You're going to put in your 4-digit extension followed by the #. You're going to put in your default password, which is the 115599 #. The system is going to prompt you to record your first and last name. You're just going to follow along, record your first and last name, You're going to save it. And at that point, that portion of your initial setup is done. Okay. The next thing I want to show you, and the easiest way to manage your voicemail, is to use what is called visual voicemail from this system. So if you actually go to your feature button and scroll down to visual voice, you're going to see that you have all these options now on your telephone. What I highly recommend at this point is for you to scroll down, select the greetings option, and set up your greeting. So when I say greeting, I mean something like, thank you for calling. You've reached Bonnie Stesola at the Ferguson Library. I can't take your call right now. Please leave your message at the tone and I will call you back as quickly as possible. Something to that effect, so that if you have a caller coming in from the outside and your call rolls to voicemail, they will hear an extended greeting and who you are and know that they've reached the right person. Once you set that greeting up, you never have to do it again if you don't want to. It is entirely up to you. And if you want, you can always go in to your greeting and re-record it if you want. Okay. So the other thing you can do from your visual voicemail is you can change your passcode. Now, I did say that everyone's default password is 115599. So that means everybody knows what everyone's default password is. So it may be a good idea for you to go in to secure your voicemail box and change your passcode. That's a very easy thing to do. You would just select passcode and the system walks you through what, to change your passcode. It does have to be a minimum of 6 digits. Okay. So that's the other thing that you can do. Now, once someone has left you a voicemail or you have old messages in your voicemail box, you can actually look up here where you're going to see listen. And these zeros would, if you have numbers there, then it would indicate if you have any new messages, any old messages, or any saved messages. So if you see a number here, you can always highlight, and then it'll break it down for you into new, old, and saved. Right now, I don't have a message in there now, so it's just going to show me a 0. Okay, and if I want to go back, I just hit my back button, and I'm back to my main screen.
So I will be sending you guys also instructions on how to do the initial setup and what the default password is and some of those voicemail features.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. I don't know if this point, Mike Smith, if you want me to just give a little bit of information about voicemail to email and if that's been set up.
So because of, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Alice knows the name better than I am though.
I'll pop in. You can always do voicemail to email, but you should understand that voicemail as is not subject to a Freedom of Information Act request. Once it becomes an email, it will be subject to a Freedom of Information Act request. How often will that ever come into play? It probably more with me than anybody else, but you should be very aware of that. Our emails as is are subject to it. So what I like to say to people is, if you don't want something on the front page of the Stamford Advocate, don't put it in email because it is subject to Freedom of Information Act requests. Any questions about that? Okay.
Okay, so thank you. Thank you for adding that. The only thing then, I'll just keep it brief to say that it does have to be set up by your system administrator. So, we would need your email address, and then there's some work that has to be done to that behind the scenes. And once that does happen, then you have the ability to go into your visual voicemail and create some options for yourself. You can turn that off and on. So you can control that voicemail to email integration once it's initially set up on your own. And then within that, you do have a couple options. Just to briefly talk to you about 2 of them. One is called a copy option and the other is called a forward option. So what that means, if is if a voicemail comes into your telephone and you have the copy option set up, it will also copy the WAV file into your email, and you will have the same message in your voicemail box as you will in your email box, okay? And when you delete one, it does not get deleted from the other. Okay, so that's important. And then the other option is forward. If you have your voicemail to email option set up as forward, when you get a voicemail, it's just going to go directly to your email box. So just wanted to touch on that briefly. And if it's something that we need to discuss further in detail specifically, we can certainly do that on Tuesday. You can stop me and talk to me about it, or, we can get into it a little more. The other thing I want to mention about voicemail is I know that you're all working, from the office, but if any point you want to check your voicemail messages from home or from outside of the office, you can do it by dialing the direct number, which is located on the documentation that MISOM sent to you. And what I did on there is I included a little activity menu and some playback controls, so that because you will not have access to your visual voicemail menu where you can just utilize the phone display to get into your voicemail. So instead you'll have to use certain codes like, 2 to get your messages or 3 to get into your greetings and things of that nature. So I'm not going to run through them all right now, but I did list them out for you to make it a little easier if you do need to access your voicemail from somewhere other than in the office. And at this point, does anybody have any questions with the voicemail?
But 2 things. I did not send that document because I don't think I have it. But that will be with all of the voicemail instructions that you guys will be getting all of that before Tuesday for sure.
Okay,
So
I apologize.
Brandon, you and I will-
I thought I sent it to you, but if I didn't and you need it from me again, just let me know.
The other thing, I know I spoke to some of you and all the supervisors know, and they should have contacted you guys, or they will be contacting you soon. I know some of you are not at your desks and you're using laptops because you move to different locations all the time. Let me know, and then Mike and I will be installing a software on that laptop so that you can pick up the phone from your computer. But we need to know to set those up.
Okay, thank you for that. So I will be there, like I said, on Tuesday. I'm going to be starting my day out with the receptionist to make sure that anybody who's working in that area is comfortable with the new technology. And then I will be around, the rest of the day to answer any specific questions that anybody may have on their telephones or voicemail or, whatever it is. Don't be afraid to ask. And that would conclude the training for today, unless there are any other questions that anyone would like to ask.
Okay, so this is recorded, like I said. So I'm gonna be sending out the recording as soon as I can. Let me know if you have any questions, and we will go live on Tuesday.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for attending the class.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.